You know, your life doesn't just explode into chaos overnight, it kinda drifts there. Well, physics actually has a name for that drift. It's called entropy. But the good news is, there's also a name for the fix, negentropy.
I love this quote. It just gets to the heart of this feeling we all have, right? Why does everything, from our desks to our big projects, seem to naturally fall apart? It's a question we've all asked in one way or another.
So in the next few minutes, we're going to break down the physics behind that muddle. And more importantly, I'm going to give you a simple framework you can use to reduce the chaos in your home, your work, and even your habits. Let's get into it.
First things first, we have to understand the force we're actually up against. So, part 1, let's talk about entropy, the universe's natural drift toward messiness.
So what is it? Put simply, entropy is just a measure of disorder. And it's a fundamental law of physics for a pretty simple reason. There are way more ways for things to be disorganized than for them to be organized. Think about a deck of cards. There's only one way for them to be in perfect order, right? But there are trillions of ways for them to be in a shuffled mess. So, without any effort, things just naturally drift towards that messy, more likely state.
And you see this literally everywhere. A clean room doesn't stay clean on its own. An efficient workflow, over time, just gets clunky and weird. Team roles that were once crystal clear suddenly get confusing. Heck, even your own focus gets scattered if you don't actively work on it.
And this is maybe the most important takeaway from this whole section. If your life feels like it's drifting towards chaos, you are not failing. It's not a personal flaw. You're just experiencing a basic law of the universe. It's the default setting for everything.
Okay, so if disorder is the default, how does anything ever get done? Well, that brings us to the other side of the coin. Part 2, negentropy, which is the active, constant fight against that drift.
The physicist Erwin Schrödinger put this so perfectly. He basically argued that life itself is defined by this struggle. A living thing is something that constantly creates and maintains order inside itself, pushing back against the universe's pull towards decay and chaos. We literally feed on order to create more order.
So let's look at these two forces side by side. On one hand, you've got entropy. It's disorder, it's chaos, and it's totally passive. It just happens. But on the other side, you've got negentropy. That's order, it's structure, and it is always active. It's the conscious act of tidying up and organizing. It's the pushback against the muddle. And here's the catch. This pushback is never free. Every single time you create order, whether you're making your bed or organizing a massive project, it requires an investment. It's going to cost you time, it's going to cost you energy, and it's going to cost you attention.
So if creating order always costs us something, it's super important to figure out where we're losing that precious energy for no good reason. In our daily lives, these little bits of disorder act like tiny entropy leaks, constantly draining our resources.
I want you to actually think about this for a second. What are those small, nagging bits of disorder in your life that are always demanding a little piece of your attention?
Usually, these leaks are tiny. It's that one dirty dish in the sink, the sock on the floor you keep meaning to pick up, the email you know you need to answer, a notification badge with like 99 unread items, a calendar that's just a mess of vague appointments. Or at work, it could be a team where nobody's 100% sure who's responsible for what.
Now, individually, none of these are a big deal. They take almost no energy to fix, but when you ignore them, they start to add up. They compound, and they create this constant low-level hum of unresolved tasks in the back of your mind that just saps your energy for the big, important stuff.
Okay, so how do we plug these leaks? This is where it gets really practical. We're going to build a system to create what I call pockets of order, using a simple 5-step framework. All right, let's walk through this. Step 1, locate the drains. Simple. Just identify what's leaking your energy every day. Is it physical mess? Is it digital clutter? Maybe a broken workflow? Step 2, prioritize. Look, you can't fix everything at once, so pick the one drain that's driving you the most crazy, the one that'll give you the biggest return on your sense of calm. Next, step 3, plan the smallest fix. We are not talking about a massive life overhaul here. Think of the smallest possible action, like clear my desk or create one new email folder. Then, step 4 is to act and add a feedback loop. Do the thing, but then create a simple routine to maintain it. A weekly checklist, a new habit, whatever works. And that brings us to the final and honestly the most powerful step.
You have to reassess the entire system. This is the highest level of creating order. You stop just tidying up a broken process and you start asking, Does this process even need to exist? Are we spending all this time organizing a meeting that should just be an email? Or better yet, canceled entirely?
And this quote from Robert Pirsig just hits the nail on the head. He says, if you only fix the symptom, but you ignore the underlying pattern that created it, the problem is just going to come back again and again. Creating real, lasting order sometimes means you have to redesign the machine, not just keep polishing the broken gears.
So here's a little challenge for you right now. Pause for a second and just write down 3 small entropy leaks in your life. Just 3. Now look at that list and pick the one that drains you the most, and then commit to taking one small 5-minute action to fix it today. Not tomorrow, today. Because here is the ultimate takeaway. Entropy, that drift towards chaos, it feels so powerful, so inevitable. But it only wins if you ignore it. It only wins through neglect. Small, consistent acts of creating order, of applying just a little bit of negentropy, are more than enough to keep it at bay.
So I'll leave you with this one question. Forget about overhauling your entire life. That's too much. Just focus on one thing. What small pocket of order will you create today?